Bam! You're tuned in to the BAMBIZTALK podcast, where we explore the thrilling world of entrepreneurship through the eyes of successful business owners themselves. I'm your humbly eccentric host, Angel Garcia, co-founder of the BAM Entrepreneurial Center. Each episode, we delve deep into the unique stories of entrepreneurs who've navigated the ups and downs of the business world to give you the opportunity to learn from both their triumphs as well as their challenges, providing actionable insights to propel your own entrepreneurial journey. So, let's dive in and walk the path of entrepreneurship together. Welcome to the BAMBIZTALK podcast, your beacon for building business success. All right. Well, bam! I am here with a very special guest tonight. And you know, she's you can see her on Shark Tank. She knows what she's doing, and she started this at an early age. And this is something she's very inspirational to a lot of people, and to me, since she came across my radar. And I just want to introduce Shirah Benarde.
Hi, how
are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. So everything from the name to your talking slogan to your product, it just seems to fit. It just seems to work. And we're gonna talk about that and how you got there, and then really, where you're going from here, right? Because you're just starting, So, give us the quick rundown about just yourself, just the real quick rundown and who you are, and then we could talk about it.
Yeah. So my name's Shirah. I live in South Florida. I had a friend that was roofied when I was 16 years old, and I thought of a life-saving invention a few weeks later when I was sleeping. And the next morning I woke up and created a prototype out of my mom's stockings and a scrunchie for my room. I didn't really know what I was doing, so sat down with my dad, and we kind of just started brainstorming things to get everything off the ground, which was finding a patent attorney, hiring a seamstress, like a local seamstress, to create some of the first prototypes, coming up with the name NightCap. We found a graphic designer, and we just kind of took the very first steps to create like a little product. And we didn't really know what was going on, but we knew it had the potential to save a lot of people. So we slowly but surely just did those few little things. And my brother was going to Florida State University at the time, and he knew how bad the problem was on his college campus. So he dropped everything to work with me, and he was using the resources at his school. He was pitching. He won all these pitch competitions and a bunch of money for us to use. And we ended up taking that money, starting an Indiegogo and raising more money, and then, taking the funds and basically buying inventory in our first round of product. So we started really not knowing anything, and it's been 5 years, and we sold over 700,000 products.
Amazing. So congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
And you say really quick, right? I mean, you say it was a slow process, but that's pretty quick, to scale.
5 years. It depends. I think all businesses can vary, but we definitely started off pretty slow, which was hard in the beginning because nobody wanted the product. So it was really hard to get people behind it. And that was one of our biggest challenges, was just like getting validity and credibility to something that has never existed before. So it took a while, but we've definitely grown exponentially.
Right. There's that. My business partner used to call it the hockey stick effect. Because at first, when you first bring it out, there's a few people around you that are really excited about it. Oh yeah, this is awesome. And your friends are talking about it. It's on social media, and then it just dies off. But then you stay consistent, you stay building, you craft it, and then there's that hockey stick just gonna go up. But I would really like to talk about behind it, your purpose. I think if we get started there, and so you're doing this for a reason. You said that you had a friend that was roofied, and we all hear that, right? Oh, roofied. Oh, I think I was roofied, What is a roofie, right? Because it's something that's been around for a very long time. They used to call it Spanish fly, I think, and there's all these different street names, but roofie seems to be the most consistent. And I think what my opinion is that roofie is just like a generic term for whatever it could be that they're spiking drinks with. So if you could talk about that, the societal effects of that, and then I want to get into the psychology of it's not a stranger that's doing it, right? It's usually somebody So what can you tell us about that aspect?
So roofie that you're asking about in particular is a abbreviation for a specific drug called Rohypnol, and it's really just a term that's used. You can consider yourself roofied but be spiked with something that's not Rohypnol. It's kind of just the term that we've picked up. So the term that's the most general is just spiked. Like my drink was spiked. So a lot of people will just say my drink, I was roofied, but it means the same thing, but that's where the term roofie comes from. As for the problem, like 1 in 2 women will be roofied or spiked in their lifetime. And it's definitely something that we don't talk about. Like running the business for the last 5 years, I would say that we've heard some very terrifying stories and some that we never expected to hear. And like you said, the most common person to spike your drink is someone that like that was a very unexpected thing to find out, but we ended up finding that out through all the comments in our social media posts. And just the majority of these comments are basically talking about people's friends and family victimizing them and targeting them, which is scary but not shocking, because when you're at like in a pregame or a house party and you're with people that you think you can trust, that's when it happens, because you don't expect it to happen. So you're not looking out for yourself as much as you would be in like a bar or club, but because your guard's down and you think everyone, even at like high caliber events where maybe you're at a party with like high level business owner, whatever it is, celebrities, like those are the places where you also feel like you can trust people because you think everyone. So that's a big misconception, is that like you're safe in these kinds of places, but we really should be looking out for people that we know, and it's a scary thing, but I think knowing that helps a lot in preventing something from happening.
Hey there, bookworms and knowledge seekers. Ever wished you could find everything you need in one place? Look no further than the Ector County Library. We're not just about books, though we've got plenty of those, from the latest page-turners to classic favorites. We're talking free high-speed internet, tech classes to boost your skills, and awesome programs for all ages. Kids can dive into storytime adventures, teens can hang out and study, and adults can join book clubs or learn something new. There's always something exciting happening at the library. So whether you're a student looking for homework help, a job seeker needing resources, or just someone who loves to learn, we've got you covered. Swing by your local Ector County Library and see what we're all about. It's more than just books. It's a whole world of possibilities. Ector County Library. Your adventure starts here.
The BAMBIZTALK podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Pachuco's Restaurant. Craving authentic and eclectic cuisine in Midland? Well, Pachuco's has you covered. Located in downtown Midland at the ever-so-legendary and iconic historic building at 316 North Big Spring Street, Pachuco's blends rich and unique flavors in a conveniently pleasant and vibrant atmosphere. Enjoy the highest quality barbecue, savory tacos, burgers, and a variety of other mouth-watering dishes that reflect the spirit of a true Pachuco cuisine. Real, authentic, and just plain different. Check out their menu at www.pachucos432.com or call 432-218-8806 to inquire, or better yet, just show up and get your shine on at Pachucos, where heritage, exquisite taste, and hospitality come together for an unforgettable dining experience. Pachucos, Midland, Texas. Now back to the show. For sure, and just the psychology of that, right? Because I was contemplating on that. It's like, what would make somebody that drug you without you being aware, And I think there's several different segments that could fall in. One is like, say somebody, they feel they have a friend that, they never let themselves go enough. They don't have fun. They don't party enough. They don't drink like the rest of us do. But I want to, give them an experience they haven't had before. So maybe there's that aspect, and I think that's more on the innocent side, because then there's also the predatory side of the friend who's pretending to be a friend type deal, but they do break down your guard and you feel comfortable around them. So you'll leave your drink there while you go use a restroom or whatever, not even thinking that could be a possibility.
Yeah, that's
so
usually
in your journey, have you talked to like a psychologist, have somebody broken that down to you?
No, but I would be curious to talk to a psychologist about this, particularly. That could be interesting. But I think you're on the right track there with the fact that, people, friends think, I'm just doing them a favor. Like, they don't actually, a lot of times they don't think they're doing something wrong. They look at it as, I'm helping you out, or, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why people, I guess when it doesn't make sense to you, you can't really wrap your head around why someone would want to do it. So yeah, it's a super, super interesting thing how the people that we think we can trust actually aren't, which is really uncomfortable. But I think it would be super interesting to talk to a psychologist about this kind of thing. Definitely.
Yeah, I think so. And that would, I think, give you a little bit more insight, into your demographic, your target. You know who your target is, right? Because obviously you've done very well. And what I like about it is that it's just not something you carry around and put over your cup. It's an accessory, right? It's a wearable. And I saw you have a product where you even have where it has little pockets in it, so your market well, so kudos to that. You've developed and you're expanding your products. I saw that, because the first thing I was thinking of, okay, so you just use the straws that are at the bar, but you have straws that you can also sell along with them, and
the straws are if basically your bar doesn't have straws. But yeah, we've covered a lot of the basics. And what I mean by that is, like, if, we started with one product and then we were like, well, we can't just sell scrunchies because that only helps women. So let's think of something that's more unisex. And then we came out with like a keychain. So that's a unisex version. Anyone can use it. And then from there, we just kind of continued looking at, genders and drinks and like who's like, what are people drinking? We need things for beer bottles and for cans and for just like a disposable option. So eventually we started just, evolving, and now we have this whole product line. We have boxes like for bachelorettes, for college students, basically for every drink we have you covered. So I don't think that we're missing anything, but we've definitely covered all of that territory, and it's been really good to know that, like, okay, we have all of these essentials, so like if you are someone who drinks beer, you don't have to feel uncomfortable because we have a product that's tailored to you too, which is really nice. I think a lot of people have a misconception that drink spiking only happens when you're drinking out of a solo cup or like a similar size shaped cup like that. but it happens in cans, it happens with water, like your drink can be spiked even if it's not alcoholic. So yeah, we have pretty much embodied, creating like fun solutions to a serious problem.
And that is the definition of being an entrepreneur, right? So let's talk about that. You saw you had a problem. You saw that there was a problem from one friend, and then I'm sure you kind of looked up and they're like, okay, there's more people than just this one friend. It's just not a one-time occurrence. So your dream, you always, I've seen you and you say, oh, the dream, and then you woke up and you did this. What was that dream?
Yeah, the dream was literally just like the product forming in my head. It was just a scrunchie, like around a glass with like a drink cover on top of the glass. And I remember being a little bit like aware of what was going on, because usually I don't remember my dreams, but I remember being like, okay, you need to remember this in the morning because this is actually a really good idea. And when I woke up, I was like, okay, now we need to go make this. And I did. And yeah, it was really interesting. I just spoke with a dream expert recently, and she told me all about, she's like, you were probably, had this intention to solve this problem before you went to bed. She said, we talked about how different things are invented in your sleep, or in dreams. The sewing machine was invented in a dream. Google, what else was it? The periodic
relativity.
The periodic table was
table.
Yeah. So that was really fun conversation.
Yeah. Did she mention lucid dreaming?
We didn't really talk about lucid dreaming.
Nah. So I think that's what she was describing when she's saying you had this intention before you went to sleep, before you fell asleep. That's what was on your mind. You were thinking about that. So lucid dreaming is when you set your intention and you go to sleep, and then you are basically awake in your dream. You're aware of being awake in your dream. And, that's when you're telling yourself, okay, this is important. I need to remember this in waking life. So that's amazing. That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah,
and you just run into your mom's closet and start putting it together, huh?
Yeah, I was looking around my house for things how do I show this instead of describing it? So I just started running around the house looking for just different fabrics to create it with. How do I bring my vision to life? And the first thing I came up with that I touched that made sense was socks. I was like, the socks are too thick. What's thinner than socks? And then I found her stockings. Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect thin material, malleable.
Yeah.
So talking about your product development, and this is something that, as you know, you've gone through it, and then you source from overseas. So that's not an easy task, for a 16, 17, 18-year-old, with no experience, So how did that happen where you end up, sourcing, your product, having it developed? What materials are you going to use? What dimensions? All the specifications? I'm sure you were just bombarded and overwhelmed with all this. Oh, well, I didn't expect all of this. I just want something to cover but there's a lot more that goes into it than just, hey, do that.
Yeah, that was definitely a task early on that my brother was more involved with, because I really didn't know what was going on, and I wasn't ready to get on the phone with manufacturers and talk to them about this stuff. So he definitely took the lead on that. And I think with our product, it's a very simple product. As much as there's a lot that goes into it, but it is a very simple product. We're not building tech. We're not,
right,
building this whole, it's literally one of the most simple things to create. So it was really just creating a prototype and then getting that prototype to where we wanted it. Once we physically had it ready, we took that and then sent it to the manufacturers. We started manufacturing in America, and then it was just like way too expensive. So we did a couple, like one or two rounds here, and then we ended up moving it overseas. But it's a very simple formula. But it's like a bathing suit material. So if you think of like the stretchy, like almost like it feels like a bathing suit. That's how I would explain it.
Yeah.
You know, the best ideas are often the most simple, right? It's the simplicity of design that allows you, you know, a great product, you know, and then you're able to scale it. You know, that's the margin that you get off it allows that. And I'm sure there's, you know, the type of material that you were testing out, you know, and then the manufacturing cost. And so what's your total cost to manufacture one piece? You know, how about 1,000 pieces, you know, 5,000, 10,000 pieces? And, you know, then you start to scale, and then there's a whole other issue of distribution. How do you get it out? You know, how to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
And like we first started talking about, there's a purpose behind it. There's a social purpose. There's the, you know, the protection purpose. But how do you get that message across in your marketing, your messaging? You know, that wasn't an overnight deal either, right? You had to really craft how, you know, you're, and then when you were on Shark Tank, man, congratulations. That is amazing, like, to be on Shark Tank, you know, because, you know, entrepreneurs everywhere, that's our thing, right? You know, we watch that. And, you know, there's a whole generation now that knows how to talk business because of that show. And then, you know, just to be on it, so, you know, just that's like a dream of mine. You know, I'd love to be on Shark Tank. But, you know, and we'll talk, I want to get your experience from that here in a minute. But you had mentioned on Shark Tank that, you know, your costs were so much. And then I lost my train of thought because I was fanboying on Shark Tank. I went fanboy on Shark Tank.
I forgot what you were about to say.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Shark Tank then. Your
you were talking
there.
about
So,
marketing.
Yes. On Shark Tank, you mentioned that you had, you know, so many sales, but then it just exploded in the last several weeks, the last 6 weeks, because you figured out your marketing messaging. You know, what was that switch, you know, that made that jump? What was the realization?
The realization was organic social media content and how to use it and reach millions of people. So I think a lot of us overcomplicate marketing when today it's like the easiest time to market whatever you want ever. It's free. It's like, it's doable. And I think like people get so caught up in what to post, who should be posting it, what time should I be posting it. And I think like the most authentic and organic videos for us have just been like really like whatever. It's just been very authentic to us, like however it makes sense for your brands. Like we can't all market the same way. We can't all post at the exact same time. I don't even think that stuff really matters, but it took us a while to figure out how to market. But we were seeing, you know, we were just like, how do we get this product out there? Let's just go to the bar, put it on a cup, and throw it up on TikTok. And that's what we did. And we would do that over and over and over again until finally we had a viral video that exploded our sales. And we were like, okay, if we can have this, then we can actually run a business. And people want it. So we kind of just kept doing that. And I guess you have to really just follow what's working. And I'm not even talking about like trends. Like I'm just kind of talking about like how marketing shifts so constantly. You know, one day it's like the founder should be the face. And then the other day it's like, no, you should hire like an influencer to, you know, blow up your content. I think like you have to choose like what makes sense for you, but we're always pivoting. And just seeing like what opportunities, what else is out there. But most of our stuff is just organic. I mean, we don't even pay for ads. Like, it just, we educate people on the problem. I think a lot of times it does well because it's a good product, but it's also a problem that isn't talked about at all. So people are curious about it, how to keep themselves safe. And it's something like we don't learn about in school. Like, it's something that happens a lot. But there's just curiosity around the subject of drink spiking, because it's like, why is this happening? What happens to someone who's been roofied? So like, education goes a long way. And even people's stories, like just hearing the amount of people who have experienced something like this, it makes you want to keep like educating and spreading awareness. And content is really the only way to do that, because you're reaching people that you would never reach before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's something else. How many, you had mentioned half of all women will experience this in their lifetime. 50, I think you said 50%. Mm-hmm. How many aren't even saying anything?
Yes, exactly. And that's why I honestly, I don't even really give statistics that much, but I started to recently because I think it's important to say that number. It's a big number, but for the longest time, I've always said like women and men. No, I mean, a lot of people don't report the problem. So that has a whole other component. Like, they don't report the problem because they're, accused of drinking too much. And then like, if you go to the doctor will tell you you're drinking too much. So then, you're treated incorrectly, and then they don't give you tests when you're at the hospitals because they don't have the resources. And there's a whole misconception, or I guess there's a whole like, there's just a lot of flaws around the system that, give us false statistics at the end of the day. So,
right.
Yeah, like most people who have been roofied don't really like talk about it, and they don't report it. They don't even have proof. So,
right.
Yeah, it's a good point. And yeah.
Entrepreneurs and small business owners, are you searching for ways of taking your business to the next level? BAM is your answer. We specialize in crafting high-performance marketing strategies that put your brand front and center right in the palm of your customers' hands. Not only can we create a premium website full of features that optimize your social media and digital marketing presence, but we ensure that your brand gets multiple views from your target audience and even those visiting your competition. BAM is your go-to solution in the Permian Basin. But we're not just about digital and social media marketing. We're a one-stop shop offering a spectrum of services, including business mentorship, strategic planning, market research, and access to capital. That's right. We can get you funding to expand your business. With BAM, you're not just getting a service, you're gaining a partner committed to your growth for the life of your business. So why wait? Kickstart your journey to success today. Call us to set up a free consultation and discover how BAM can help your business soar above the rest. 432-247-8840. Call today and get your business launched.
And I feel that the way you're doing your marketing, like you said, hey, just going out to the bar and throwing, drinks and showing, how I like the ones where you spiked your friends, and you're at a pregame, you're at a house party, or just hanging out, and you're telling them before what you're gonna do, and you do it, and they still don't realize that you did it.
No.
That's scary.
Yeah,
and they should have been on guard.
Yeah, and the message there is like the message there goes far, because what we were talking about earlier is, these are my friends, and the real problem is from our friends, right? So like, it's a realistic way of showing people how easy it is to be spiked, how it can be on anything you're drinking, and how it can be anyone that's doing this who's perpetrating the crime. So I think the visualization of seeing like, oh my God, like how did somebody not see that? Or, you know, the drink was right there. How were they not paying attention? It's, you know, once you see that happen, you realize, oh, that could have been me. Like I'm in all those situations. And so it's been interesting. It's definitely I definitely feel super weird making those videos, but it works. So
I bet, especially reflecting on it like you are now, you know, and then, you know, the moments where you slowed the camera down to show, oh, the drop, you know. And there was one where I think you're reaching over your friend and there's all people at the bar. You drop a full, you know, gummy fish or whatever those fish are, and like nobody's looking.
Yeah.
You know, it's wild because when somebody sees that, and I think this is why it works on what you're doing with your marketing and on TikTok, because if somebody sees that, so when I saw that, I start reflecting back through all my years, and I'm like, oh wow, maybe that one night it wasn't me just being dumb. Maybe I got roofied, you know, maybe something happened because I don't, you know. So we go back and like, oh wow, it has happened to me, right? Almost like the Me Too. Hey, me too, right? And you get that viral action, you know, and you're right. You know, it is the organic content creation. It's making sure that people not just see, but what you're showing them has them understand, you know, in a short form, because that's, you know, we don't have attention spans like we used to. It is that short form content that is direct and to the point. It's almost like the ancient hieroglyphs, like bam, bam, bam. Okay, I get the full, what you're trying to convey to me, what you're trying to communicate. I get it. And not only do I get it, it resonates, you know, because I have a daughter, I have sisters, you know, I have friends, you know, females, and myself. I feel now that, okay, I might have been a victim myself, you know, I don't know, but there's a very good chance. You know, so I have, you know, not only my daughter, but, you know, her 19-year-old cousin, you know, he's out there and, you know, he's a 19-year-old, you know, doing what 19-year-olds do. And it's just now concerning. It's like, okay, like now I would be a purchaser of your product, not, you know, to give away. You know, to make great like birthday gifts or Christmas gifts or anytime gifts, you know, just something almost like stocking stuffers almost.
Yes.
You know, that are valuable and useful.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you definitely are. You are a demographic. So a lot of parents buy for their children. But yeah, it is very concerning. I think anyone, you know, when they see the product or when they see our videos, they think of someone that they care about and they're like, wow, you know, this is resonating for sure. Yeah.
So, you know, great job on that. You know, great job on that and getting the word out. It's obviously reflected on your success. How did Shark Tank change your trajectory?
Shark Tank just really gave us a lot of credibility, and it helped in that way. So, you know, when any business goes on that show, it immediately validates your product. I think good or bad, to be honest. And it helped because we went on there, I think, a year after we started the company. So, you know, being able to say like we were on Shark Tank has really helped. It's helped us too, because in the way of like making our products cool, and you know, you don't want to, it's uncomfortable to like take a drink cover out with you, and like we've tried to make it as fun as possible, and we've done that in a way of being on Shark Tank, marketing on TikTok. Like we are like a cool, trendy brand, and they definitely, like, Shark Tank has definitely helped with that, because, you know, Shark Tank is cool. Everyone likes that show. So
for sure,
that's probably the best way, or the best, how it helped us is essentially credibility.
Right, most impactful. It moved the needle the most.
Yes. And of course the exposure and sales was great too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And, just I could imagine the preparation, when you're getting. But so you'd mentioned you've won several pitches, so that's what we do here at BAM, right? We're an entrepreneurial center. We help startups. We help businesses grow. And pitching, presenting is a big part of that. We've run pitch competitions. We've entered pitch competitions, and we're actually just started. We just entered a pitch competition now. It's going to be like a 6-month long process. But it's something that you guys won 4 of them. Is that what you said?
Yeah, my brother won 4 of them, and then obviously Shark Tank was you could consider that a 5th.
Yeah, for sure. So the preparation to be on Shark Tank, how long did you guys prepare for that? Or from hey, yeah, we're gonna be on Shark Tank till when you're actually on, how long did you have?
I want to say 6 months.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it was a while. So we would pitch to each other a lot. Your pitch is only 90 seconds, but I guess like for someone that's looking for advice to pitch, like people ask me all the time, like, I'm going on Shark Tank, like what's the magic, what should I do? And I'm like, just be yourself and do your best. And
perfect.
Like, this is the most basic answer, but it's true. Like it's true. There's no like secret. Like we really just went out there. We have passion behind our products, and that was all it took. I feel like just hard work and like knowing that you're solving a problem, like literally.
Yes.
And if you know that your product will help people, then let that like show in your pitch. So I have no magic potion to give anyone.
There's no silver bullet for anything, right? There's no waving of the magic wand and boom, there you go. No, you're absolutely correct. It's authenticity, and if you stand behind your product because you have a passion for your product, well, it's going to come out, And, I don't think there's ever been a shark in any of the Shark Tank shows that acted like Lori did. And she just jumped out. She was, I'm throwing in right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much off the bat, didn't really allow for any much discussion amongst the sharks. And they all recognize, they are like, okay, well, that's Lori's deal. I would love to, but she's much more qualified. She's got the right vehicle to really take you guys. So what is it like working with Lori, and, where do you see yourself going here in the next few years?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways that we could go with NightCap, just because anywhere that sells alcohol could sell the product. So I think really just focusing on universities, because even now, like we see in the news, like school just started and like there's already problems with spiking on these campuses. And so trying to get students the tools that they need to just stay safe and be able to go out to the bars and feel a little bit more comfortable is probably like our number one priority. And we used to have these big goals of like getting into the music festivals and all these things, but it really is hard to get your foot in the door when most of the time they don't care.
Right.
They just don't. So I think getting in the hands of students and really tackling the problem with legislatures and senators and understanding like why is it so bad in certain cities, and why aren't we offered a test at the hospital? That's so flawed. Makes no sense, and it needs to change. So pretty much just expanding on our products, but also wishing that our products didn't exist.
Yes. I get that. I resonate with that, because it's a problem, right? That's what you're trying to solve, right? You're problem solving. So as an entrepreneur, you're making, your product grow, but at the same time trying to grow it out of existence. And it's a conundrum that, that's what these passion, it's a passion project, product where you're hey, this is a problem and I need to solve it. And it's just not a simple problem where, hey, okay, oh yeah, here's what you do, it's done. No, this is an ongoing, large scale societal problem. And I'm sure it's not just a United States thing, right? It's a global issue. Are you guys selling overseas any?
Yes, we sell in over 40 countries, so
40
definitely is a global issue, and it's getting pretty bad in places like the UK, where we might be expanding over there. Like it's
Awesome.
just getting to that point where, you know, you have to kind of like open the door over there because they need the help.
That's amazing. I mean, at the same time, not, but right? Yeah, that's what we were talking about. But yeah, no, I'm excited for your guys' growth and that you're looking to expand, and you know, wish you nothing but the best. So what this show here is, this is, you know, our demographic is entrepreneurs, you know, and business owners who are looking to learn and hear from other business owners such as yourself. And do you have anything yourself that, from the entrepreneur business perspective, that you know, some words of wisdom, or you know, something that you'd like to express to other entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think like you know, make yourself uncomfortable and try to get used to that, because nothing in being a founder or starting a business is like easy or feels safe or like feels comfortable, feels like natural. It's all very out of your normal, I guess. And most of the things that we have accomplished, or like the doors that we've opened, are through breaking like down the barriers, and even within yourself too. Like, you have to, if you feel uncomfortable, you're probably doing something right. So
I like that, and it's very true. Right?
Yeah,
because growth requires shedding the old.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
And it's a constant process, right? So if you ever do feel comfortable, well, something's not right.
Yeah.
Because entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
Yeah.
But you know, that's why they're my people. You know, I love entrepreneurs, and just, you know, who they are, what they represent, what they're, you know, because a lot of us really do want to change the world. You know, and I know it can be a cliche thing, but it can't be more true for a lot of us.
Yeah.
You know, and I can tell that that's where you come from, because that's what your product is. You're authentic. And you know, it's amazing that you were so young when you started it. And that you just not only had a dream and, you know, oh, this could be cool, but you know, at 16, because obviously you hadn't been living the bar life, you know, so to come up with that idea and then, oh, this could really do something and continue, right? It's a continuation of it, and you know, you didn't give up. I'm sure there was plenty of points along the way who were like, okay, this is not going to work, you know, should I even continue? Because all entrepreneurs go through that at some point. But the fact that you stuck through it, and then you got buy-in. You know, your brother, he jumped on board. You know, what did he say? He said he was going to go to law school, but then he was like, no, baby sister's got it going, so I got to jump on board and make sure that this train rides out.
Yeah. No, yeah. We're co-founders now, and it's been great. We're definitely good at different things, which keeps us in our own lane.
And that's very important. Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, NightCap, how can people listening, how can they follow you? Where at?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok. It's at NightCapIt. I also have a podcast called In Your Dreams podcast. And then
In Your Dreams.
My website is nightcapit.com. Amazon, we're on there, and we're also in your local Forever 21. So
That's something I didn't bring up. Forever 21.
that's
Can
okay.
you talk about? Yeah, can you talk about that real quick? Because how you got there is amazing. You just walked up to her. Tell us that story.
Yeah, I was at a conference maybe 2 years ago, and the CEO of Forever 21 was on a panel, and I really enjoyed what she said. So I walked up to her and I told her, and then I gave her a nightcap, and she said, "Let's get this in the stores." And I was like, "There's no way." And fast forward, we got into all 400 Forever 21 stores. It took like an email, maybe a couple follow-ups, but fine. But being persistent, and it happened. So yeah, very, very, that's what I'm saying by being uncomfortable. I mean, it's not very easy to do that. So just know that they all start somewhere.
They put their pants on one leg at a time, like everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah, they're people, and just because they're in high positions does not mean they're not approachable.
Yep.
But either way, if you know who somebody is, and they're head of a large company, you're gonna have some, oh, should I or should I not? Am I? Just go for it.
Yeah.
What's the worst that can happen? No.
Yep.
It's like you got to be a good salesman. It's not, no doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. And like you said, stay persistent, stay on it. Well, Shirah, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate what you're doing. And so listeners, go check out our Amazon, get some products. They can help save your people in your life. All right, you care about. This could really help them out. And join in, right? And follow her TikTok, because your TikTok's very informative. It's pretty cool. I'm not a big TikTok. I'm an old dog, but I know that's where the attention is at the moment. And so that's a perfect place for you to be. But again, thank you for your time, and hey, congratulations on all your success, and nothing but best wishes. And much success from here on out for you and your brother.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For sure. So thank you, and you be good, and good. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye.